Welcome to this quick look at products of prime factors. So in your exam you might be given a question that looks a little something like this. Write 240 as a product of its prime factors and give your answer in index form. Now it's really important to note this second part of the question, giving in index form, and we'll talk about that in a second. Right, so I've got 240 and it wants to know what the product or the things that I multiply together are, and they need to be prime numbers. So I'm going to use a factor tree for this, and what we need to do is we need to find things that multiply together to make 240. Now I think a really good method for doing this is, if this number is even, is just to halve it. I find halving things is not too bad to do. So half of 240 would be 2 times 120, and then I need to look at what I've got here, and I've got to say, well, do I have any of those numbers that are prime? Well, yes I do. 2 is a prime number. It is the only even prime number. Okay, having a look at 120, there's definitely lots of stuff that goes into 120, so not prime. I'm going to halve it again, so 2 times 60 gives me 120. Having a little look, well, yeah, I can see that 2 is indeed a prime number, so I'm just going to circle that. And 60, no, definitely lots of stuff that goes into 60, so we're going to go again. 2 times 30, having a look at that, yeah, 2 is a prime number, so I'm going to give that a quick circle. 30, no, I can keep going, can't I? 2 times 15, 2 being prime. 15 is not a prime number. There's certainly things I can multiply to make 15, other than 1 and 15. I can say 3 times 5. And then having a look at those, well, yes, 3 is prime and so is 5. Now, if the question had just said, write 240 as a product of its prime factors, then I could just write it like this. And I would get full marks for the question. But this part of the question asks us to write it in index form. So what we need to do is we need to have a look and see if we've got any numbers that are the same, and just sort of tidy them up a bit. I can see I've got lots of 2's. Now, what's the way that I can write 4 lots of times in by 2? Well, that's 2 to the power of 4. Don't have any other 3's, don't have any other 5's. So written as a product of its prime factors, 2 to the power of 4 times 3 times 5. You might like to pause the video here and give this a go. Okay, so hopefully we might see this one not even, but I can see that 5, because it ends in a 5, will go quite nicely. So 5 lots of 25. This is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it. And then again, 5 times 5, all prime. So it's 5 times 5 times 5, but because these are all the same, I can simplify that to 5 to the power of 3, written in index form. 420 even, so I would say let's halve things. So 2 lots of 210, prime, so I'll circle it. Halve again, 2 lots of 105, prime, so I'll circle it. This one's a bit more tricky, but it does end in a 5, so I know that 5 is going to go into it. 5 times 21, 5 being prime, so I'll circle it. And then 3 times 7, both being prime, so I'll circle them. 2 times 2 times 5 times 3 times 7, tidying it up a little bit. 2 to the power of 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. I like to put them in number order, and as multiplication is commutative, it doesn't really matter if I change those around.